Hey, what's going on YouTube? NPCG72 back with another video, and I got a semi-new build for 2021, and you'll see what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about semi. And really, I'll jump right into it. It's semi because I've got some old stuff and I've got some new stuff as well. So let's jump right into what we are using for this new PC build. So the center of the show is a Ryzen 5 5600X, which I just dropped that fan. Man, I have been waiting so long to get my hands on one of these. I was thinking 5900X. I didn't want to do the 5800X, right, because it's just in a weird position. But 8 core, 16 threads, to each his own, still a good CPU. I've got a Ryzen 7 1800X, and I'm going to be giving away to a friend in a build that he can use. So 8 core, 16 threads, no slouch, but this Ryzen 5 5600X is a beast. I've watched a ton of videos on it, and I'm excited to actually get one. I paid a little bit more than it's actually worth based on MSRP, but I went ahead and pulled the trigger anyway so I can get it. So easy day. So again, really excited about getting that. That's new. So old, I got the Fractal Design. What is this one? Not Design, but the Fractal Define S. I actually used to have a water-cooled build in this. And then it was actually in my son's room for his build where I had the Ryzen 7 1800X in it. Now it has made its way back to me again. Really excited about doing a build in this. I thought about getting one of the new Fractal cases, but I say why waste money when I already got one here that I can actually use. So easy day. So that's old. Another thing that's old is the EVGA 850 G2 power supply that I have here. Pretty sure is what Supernova it is. So I've actually got two of these, one in this rig and one in my daughter's rig, which she's probably not even using, so I probably need to get that one back. But easy day, and it's fully modular. And what I like about EVGA power supplies, a lot of them you can get a 10-year warranty on them, but you have to actually register them. So make sure you register it or them if you buy one. Something new. This is a new all-in-one from EK. To be more precise, this is the EK AIO 240 D-RGB. So really excited about this. Saw some good reviews. I actually watched a Kit Guru video on this. I also watched some Gamers Nexus videos on this as well. So pretty excited about getting this. And this was actually going for $113 on Amazon. I'm not sure how much it costs now. But yeah, really excited about using this. Saw some good reviews on it, and hopefully we get some good temperatures. It's EK, so EKs are a great water cooling company, so I expect nothing but great performance out of this. So easy day. Something that's brand new for this build, but been out for a while, is these these Noctua fans, if I can get my words out today. And this is the premium fans, but these are the NF A12X25s. I've actually got a bunch of these. I've got 5 of them in all. I got 3 of them in my current gaming rig, and I've got 2 of them in my recording rig. So, love these fans, quiet. These fans actually are 120 millimeter, but they move as much air as 140 millimeter fans and are much quieter, right? Old fans, I got 2 140 millimeter Noctua fans here that have been in this build forever. I actually used to use them in another build that I had, but I decided to put them in here, and they were actually in here for my son while he had it. What you can't see on the back, but you'll see later, is 2 Intel 730 series SSDs, 240 gigabyte. You'll see those when I actually install the fan controller, which I'm going to actually talk about here shortly, and you'll see that when I actually install it. So easy day. I'm going to be using EVGA Frostbite 2 thermal paste, good performance. I actually had another tube and I can't find it for some reason, so I had to order a new one from Amazon. So easy day. Mostly everything here came from Amazon or Newegg, excuse me. So I'm going to be using the Corsair Commander Pro fan controller. Love this thing. Actually got one in my main rig right now, which is going to become my editing / possibly streaming rig if I ever decide to do that. That's in there right now because I've actually got a Ryzen 9 3900X that I'm using now. And that rig's, again, going to be for gaming. It is not gaming, video editing, rendering, and possibly streaming. And this is going to be the gaming rig once I get done with it. For the motherboard, really excited about this because of the VRM. This is the Gigabyte X570 Aorus Master. This thing basically has a server VRM. If you want to get more details about it, just check out Gamers Nexus videos or Hardware Unbox videos about this motherboard, right? They highly recommend it. And what Billzoid and his channel. Billzoid talks about the VRM in here and how it's server grade and it's actually overkill. But got a great deal on this one. Didn't pay as much as it actually cost, so pretty excited about that as well. Now, I've got the EVGA GeForce RTX 2060 Super, but that is not going to be using this rig. I'm actually going to be using the RTX 2080. I've got 32 gigabytes, which you'll see later when I'm installing in the rig. I don't want to touch it because it's G-Skill Trident Z-RGB, and that's going to be RGB Royal, and that's 3200 megahertz, and that's going to be 32 gigabytes. I'm also using a 2 Gen 4, not a, but 2 Gen 4 NVMe SSDs. You'll see when I install those. One's a 1 gigabyte, and that one's actually from Gigabyte, excuse me. And the other one's actually from Sabre, and that one's a 500 gigabyte. Both of them are PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSD, so I'm going to get a ton of speed out of that. And I'm looking actually to get one more, maybe a Gen 3, because I want a 2 terabyte for storage. So easy day. So that's pretty much everything that's going in this rig. I don't think I missed anything. So what I need to do is get building so I can get gaming. So let's jump right into that. Alright YouTube, this is the best angle I can get for, you know, recording me installing the motherboard. So I've already taken the motherboard out of the box. Again, it's a X570 Aorus Master. All my, well, not all of them. I'm not actually going to use this motherboard standoff hole here, but I'm going to use the rest of them. And there's a permanent one. Well, it's not permanent. You can take it out. But this one here is just to help hold the board in place. So that's more than enough. There's been builds where I haven't used, like my daughter's build, I only used 3 motherboard standoffs. I had to do a little bit of modding for that one. So easy day. So let's get this thing installed. The cool thing about motherboards these days, most of them come with a, well, not most of them, a lot of them come with a IO shield already installed, which is permanent, so easy day. Well, already installed. Alright, let's get this motherboard installed. Hopefully everything fits. No issues. There we go. Got that in there. Yeah, that was somewhat of an easy day. So, let's get the screws put in there. And the thing about these is they don't have to be super tight, right? Don't over tighten them because you don't want to strip them. And let's make sure I got them all. And I have properly grounded myself too. Right? You don't want static discharge to ruin your hardware. And I've actually got 3 X570 boards. I had a B450. And I think it was a Ryzen 3 1200. I think it was. I gave that to the same person I'm giving my Ryzen 7 1800X to. So I've bought how many? 1, 2, 3 X370 boards. 1 B350. That's in my daughter's rig. Over tighten that. And I've got 3 X570 boards. 2 from Gigabyte. I've got the Aorus Ultra. That's in my son's rig. And the Aorus Master, which you're seeing me install right now. And I've got the X570 Meg Ace. And I'm going to leave my 3900X in there. And again, use that for video editing. And I said streaming, which I probably will never do. But I do got a dedicated recording rig. And that is, I got a Ryzen 5 1600 AF. Let me find my other screws here. Probably got one at the bottom. AF that I got in that one. I actually bought two AFs. And one of them was bad. But I wanted to put it into a build. But by the time I used it, I wanted to use it in a build. I couldn't return it. And I paid $100 for that CPU. And that's the first CPU I've never had work on me before. I've had almost 100% success with CPUs. If I put my arm in the way, I apologize. I don't have a cameraman. With the exception of that one. But all my kids' computers I built. Save them some money, you know what I mean? Got one more. But the reason I was talking about these motherboards is that I'm not buying any more X570 motherboards. Alright YouTube, that's installed. And the reason I'm not buying anymore is because, you know, DDR5 is right around the corner. AMD is probably doesn't use the AM4 platform as much as they can use it. They'll probably be going to AM5 for Ryzen 6000 series CPUs. And yeah, I like to give my older stuff away because somebody can always use it. Like my daughter has my 5820K. Which is 6-core, 12 threads, more than enough for her, so easy day. But that ain't what this is about. So motherboard's installed. So let's actually get the CPU installed. All right, YouTube. We're gonna install the CPU. Should be an easy day. I've already lifted this pin up. This pin just simply goes down to lift it up. You just pull it out to the side and pull it up. That's the retention pin, or the retention lever, actually. Make sure you read, gracious man, make sure you read your motherboard to make sure you're installing this the correct way. I've already done that, so let's get this thing installed. Normally there's a little triangle right here, which is very difficult to see, and one that's right here as well. I've already read my motherboard manual, so I know how to install this. So we're going to get this installed. Easy day. Then we're just going to bring down the retention lever and put that into place. I actually prefer the way Intel's retention sockets work over AMD's. I actually pulled AMD CPU out of the entire socket one time years ago. It was one of the, Phenom 2s? Yeah, thank God I didn't damage it, but that's where that goes in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this as well. I'm going to clean this with a coffee filter and some isopropyl alcohol. If you can get 99% or 90%, that's good, but the best I could get was 70%. I watched a Linus Tech Tips video about this a while back, and it really didn't make much of a difference which one you were using. There's some specialty stuff out there as well. So I'm going to be using 70% and some coffee filters which don't leave behind no debris. And I'm going to go ahead and clean my CPU. Right, this will evaporate pretty quickly. Just hit it there. Not applying any pressure. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, some of the overclockers I hear lap their CPU, so that's insane. I did delid one CPU that I still got, which was a 3770K, which I still got. And yeah, that was interesting. I was kind of scared when I did it, but I got it done. So easy day. So I got that installed. So what we're going to do is put the memory in next. I'm gonna just go ahead and do that right now. I don't think it'll interfere with me doing anything else. And while I'm in here, I'll probably go ahead put my CPU power cords or connections in as well. It's disconnected from the power supply, but I'll do it up there so it'll be easier for me next time. So let's go ahead and put the memory in. I'm not gonna go off camera. I'm gonna just walk over here and grab it. And we're gonna be putting in 32 gigabytes of G.Skill Trident Z Royal 3200 megahertz CL16 memory, right? So all you gotta do is match your memory up. In fact, I need to throw a little microfiber on this and clean it up a little bit. That's no spots on it. I don't think they're making, I think you can still order this stuff, the G.Skill Royal, but I don't know if they're making it anymore. But good looking memory. I was going to get the gold, but I went with the silver. Make sure your memory is oriented correctly, which I'm pretty sure it is. And one side of this is actually longer than the other. All you got to do is do the same thing for your memory. And once you put one module in, the rest of it should be an easy day. Now, hopefully I won't have any issues putting in the CPU cooler after putting this memory in. But we'll see. We'll see what problems we run into. If I run into problems, I'll just take the memory out and then put the CPU cooler in, or the all-in-one. If I run into any problems, easy day. And hopefully you'll learn from this if you're doing the same thing and you won't run into those problems. And I'll save you some time. So just click your memory in just like that. And once you got one stick in, just put the rest of them in the same way. I actually just watched a Gamer's Nexus video about memory for Ryzen 5000 CPUs. And he was actually saying 4 sticks were getting you 8% more performance in games than actually using 2 sticks, which is not the norm. But then I saw some other videos recommending DDR4 3600. But since I got this, and then I don't want to really go in my other rig and take that Trident Z Neo out, we're going to just use this. And maybe I can get a good overclock out of this memory with the XMP, well, if I put it in right, with the XMP profile. It is some good looking memory though. And I'm glad it is silver because it matches the silver accents on the motherboard, right? Easy day. Yeah, I gave my son my Ryzen 5 3600 rig, and he has that paired up with a, if I get this in right, paired with a RTX 2060. That kid's spoiled, man. All my old stuff he gets. Alright, that's some memory in there. Hopefully I won't run into any problems when I'm putting the CPU cooler in there. And I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. Hopefully I don't have to do a BIOS update. I'm going to update the BIOS anyway, but hopefully I won't have to do a BIOS update to get this to run. It should be good to go from what I actually read, but if I have to, you can actually update the BIOS with these motherboards without even having the CPU in there, right? All you need is a BIOS on that flash drive. So that should be an easy day. So next, let's get the CPU cooler installed. So that'll be next. And timestamps will be in here for everything, so easy day. Alright YouTube, let's get this EKWB all-in-one installed. So this is the first time I've ever installed one of these, so bear with me so it won't be quick. Timestamps again available if you want to skip. So the first step says remove the original plastic hold down clamps from AMD. Alright, so these right here. And make sure you keep these. Don't throw them away. Right? You never know if you want to just air cool the board or use the original, you know, the original CPU cooler that comes with your AMD processor. Well, it comes with most of them. And a lot of the Corsair actual CPU coolers actually use this original standoff. Now, the good thing about a lot of cases these days is that they come with a, let's see, the back plate just fell off, where you can access the back plate. So let me put this stuff in a safe area. Let me find a bag for it, a little plastic bag. Oh no, I'll just set them to the side in an area by themselves and I'll bag it up later. All right, there we go. So that was step one. It says use Phillips, remove, got it. Keep the original back plate, which fell down, which we're going to use. Okay. All right, step two, attaching mounting screws, AMD. Install 4 X mounting thumb screws for AMD input socket, motherboard. The screws are to be installed without the use of tools. Okay. All right, let's do that. I haven't even pulled that out of the box. All right. Make sure we're using the right stuff here. All right, so awesome. Got Intel brackets. Got AMD brackets too. Got a whole bunch of screws, which I'm sure is for the fans. Yeah, I'm not showing you all this easy day though, because I can't move the camera. Screws for brackets, 4+1. All right. That's got to be the Intel bracket. Oh, they gave you some thermal paste too, easy day. Can use that for another time. And AIO 2011 socket and AMD screws. All right. So, looking at the picture, yep, got the right ones. Attach mounting screws. The short side goes down. All right. So I'm sure these screw into the bracket, which I gotta push back up. So, oh man. These are the times that you could use some help, right? More than two hands. Hope that's still in the shot. It is. Here's a screw. Hope that's in the shot. It is. So let's screw them in. And these are to be hand tight. All right. So what it is grooved up in there, so it can screw down flat on top of this back plate. So it goes up inside there. So these got a female groove inside of them for a male insert. So all I gotta do is two, and that holds it up. There we go. Now all I gotta do is do the other ones. All right. And the thing about this installation, once I've installed it once, I'll remember how to do it every time after that. But I don't plan on doing no new builds till AM4 comes out or Intel comes out with some stuff that provides some real competition. I hear Rocket Lake is going to be pretty strong, but I ain't buying nothing new. So I don't know about this memory here yet, YouTube, if it's going to be in the way. We'll see. All right, step 3. Right, they're telling me to install the fans on the radiator. I'm not going to do that yet. I want to get this installed at first. Well, no, let's keep going with the instructions. All right. So I'm going to install the fans on the radiator. Shouldn't be too difficult. And if you open up a part of this, it say void of warranty. I guess that's how they filled it. I guess the warranty is void if you do that. Okay. Let's see. Let me get these fans installed. Pull them out. And these are going to exhaust up when I install them. Alright, so let me adjust the camera and move the case out the way, and we'll install the fans on the radiator. Alright, YouTube, now we're going to get the fans installed here. I'm going to be using the fans that came with EK, but don't be surprised if I change these out for my Noctua fans. I just want to see how this is going to perform and how loud or how quiet it's going to be with these fans. Plus these are RGB fans, so that's going to be really other than the memory, the only thing that's going to be RGB in here. So we'll see if I decide to change those out or not. If I do, I'll just talk about it if I'm doing some other video. Alright, so these fans got 4-pin power, and here's I guess the RGB connection, which has a little cap on it. So this thing, when I put it in the case, I'm probably gonna put it in like this and then have it this way when I put it in there. So that means I want to put the fans with the cables going that way so I can route them. And that shows the EK right there too. So yeah, that's the way I'll do it. Have it like that and then just route the cables while I put it up there. And I might offset it. Well, it's going to be offset anyway based on the motherboard. And when I mean offsetting it, you'll see what I'm talking about once I get it installed. But let's stop wasting time. This is going to go just like this. Alright, let me get the right screws, which I'm pretty sure the only ones that are for the D's. That's why they didn't even really label them. And then the shorter ones will mount to the case. Easy day. So I got bit by the water cooling bug and the hard tubing. Well, I started off with soft tubing, of course. And I did that. I may entertain doing another water cool build one day. But the thing about water cooling is maintenance. actually was doing maintenance on my last one and I messed up and got a leak and ruined almost everything. Alright, see, now I'm putting this fan on wrong because I'm not paying attention. That's pull. I want to push. Alright, so let me make sure I orient this the right way. And I want it to go that way. Based on this going in the case like that. Yep, that's the way I want to do it. If I ever get this lined up. There we go. There we go. Just get one started. Make sure I'm using the right ones, because there are some ones in here that are completely threaded. Let me make sure I'm using the right ones. Phillips head, UNC. And I'm supposed to be using depending on the AIO version to the radiator, with the UNC 632 by 30, and I'm using the UNC 632 by 30, and no, okay, and not the 32 by 34. So step 3, attach the fans 1X, 2X, or 3X depending on the AIO version to the radiator with the UNC 632 by 30 millimeter screws. Okay. Let's see. Mountain kit, Phillips. Yeah, I think I'm using the right ones. Yeah, pretty sure I am. All right. And the ones that you're supposed to be using according to this are the ones that just got the threads on the end. Alright. And I got 3 batteries for this camera just in case I run out. Run out of juice. The other 2 are actually charging right now. If I get this lined up today. Thought I had it lined up. All right, let's lift that up a little bit. There we go. And these ain't got to be overly tight. One day I'm going to buy a torque wrench in inch pounds. I would assume this would be inch pounds. Definitely not foot pounds. You'll be amazed how people actually over torque stuff. So if you can, torque wrench. All right. Definitely don't want to over tighten these. Turn, so that's one. And the other one's going to be installed the same way, so I ain't going to waste your time by showing you that. Easy day. So next thing you know, well, next thing we're going to see is me installing this in the case. Alright YouTube, I got the other fan installed. Now I've got to actually install the AMD. Well, I grabbed the Intel. Here we go. The AMD brackets here. EVGA got, not EVGA, I'm sorry, EKWB. It's got everything nicely labeled. Oh man, I didn't want to tear that bag, but I did. That's tight. Alright, so I'm going to just put a hole in this bag. Easy day. These two brackets, and I'm about to get installed. AMD says, well, EKWB says, use 4 MX4 screws to install 2 AMD brackets. Alright, so we got to find MX4 screws. So let me look in the manual to find out what those are. And the MX4, alright, are these little tiny screws that don't really have a flat head. Gotcha. Alright, so let's pull these out right here. And nope, that is not them. That is not, those are for the case. So where are these MX4 screws? That ain't it. That's 2011. That ain't it. AMD brackets, it says screws, 4 brackets. Oh, it's these. Alright. Yep, these right here. Alright. And it's only 4 of them. And I believe they're the only ones, so let me make sure. Yep, 4X. That's them. Get this out of here. Pull those out right there. Actually, it's 5. They gave you an extra one. Okay. So, let's see. So now we take this protective cover off. There's already some installed thermal paste on here. We might put this back on. So, these go in here. Do they go in there like that? Let's see. They do. That's the way they go in. Easy day. So this little lip faces up on these. I know it's difficult to see. I can't really move the camera, but that's the way that goes. So we're going to take a screw, without messing up our thermal paste here. All right. Get that in there and screw it down. Easy day. I didn't put that in there overly tight. Just hand tight. A little extra turn on it. Make sure it's secure. And that's how you install the bracket. Then I do the same thing on the other side. Right? If I get it in the shot. So let's do that one too. Since I didn't have it in the shot really that good for the last one. That's cool that they give you an extra one. Alright, get this on here. Magnetic screwdrivers come in handy. Try not to cross thread anything. Got that one in there. Holding this down with my arm so it stays in place. And put this on here too. Alright, easy day. Then I'm going to put this back in the bag that it came out of. Right, and seal it back up with some tape to know that where it goes and what it needs to be used for. Easy day. Or put it in another plastic bag, period. which I'll just use this one. Alright YouTube, that is that for that installation portion. Now we're going to get this installed in the case. And we ain't got to use no thermal paste, right? Which I should have realized that was already applied, knowing that most of the all-in-one companies do that, but easy day. Alright YouTube, now we're going to get this installed. I've already cleaned the CPU, which I showed you earlier. And I'm trying to do this by myself so I don't damage anything. So I'm going to try to put this microfiber cloth right here to keep from damaging my surfaces on my radiator. And we're going to get this installed. Remember, thermal paste is already on here. So it looks like all we got to do is sit this down. Wait a minute, hold on. So it's going to go like this. Okay. It's going to be like that. Alright. So what I want to do is keep from damaging stuff. So let's get this installed. Do this one time. There we go. Alright. I didn't pay enough attention like I should to the EK logo that's right there. So easy day. But that's in there. Now we've got to use these big old thumb screws and these springs to actually put this on here. This ain't too bad of a process, but the Corsair installation process so far has been the easiest. And again, this has a female portion up in here for the male portion of that. So next you put a, well, you can actually do it like this if you want, but it's probably better just to put the spring on top of the screw first, like this. Then screw this down. It also has an area you can use the screwdriver, but you might not have to. Put that on there. You're going to have to probably apply a little bit of pressure to get it started, which I did, and there we go. Right, I'm just get these started. And you always want to use a cross pattern and make sure you're getting good contact, though there's no way for me to actually prove that. Alright, got that one started. This installation ain't that bad. It's just not as easy as the Corsair installation. And now I got two springs that are hooked together. And difficult to come apart. Alright, EK, you need to separate these better. Man, those are really stuck. See how they're stuck together like that there, YouTube? Well, you can't see, it's hard to see, but... And I'm filming this in 4K with a Panasonic G7. There we go, got them apart. One there and one up here. Oh, they actually gave you an extra spring. So they give you one extra of everything, huh? Easy day. I don't see no reason to have to use a screwdriver for this with these thumb screws, but the instructions may tell you to do so. So we're going to have RGB on the memory and RGB on the pump head here. Alright. Alright, so after you do that, what does it say? Align the pump, got it. Place and close compression springs, got it. Start fastening 2 thumb nuts at a time, preferably in a cross pattern, yep, and do not tighten them fully until all of them are partially screwed in. Alright, so now we can tighten them all up. So let's do cross pattern from each other here. Get them somewhat tight. And we'll go up here. Those ain't all the way tight yet. To do these. And we'll go back and do these again. Those are snug, and I'll go back on these again. Alright, those are good. And finally we'll finish up with these 2. Yeah, installation ain't too bad. Alright, there we go. So that was an easy day. Now we're gonna I'm gonna turn this up, put the case upright, and then I'm gonna connect the radiator to the case. And hopefully I don't run into any problems with these heat sinks. I ran into some problems in the Land Cool 2, and I couldn't put my Corsair AIO in the top. I had to put it in the front, and the way I did it, I oriented it just like this with the tubes down, of course, so you know I wouldn't run into any air issues, anything like that. In the beginning though, I had it at the top, but I watched that Gamers Nexus video so I changed it quick. Alright, so let's change the orientation of the case and get the actual radiator installed. Alright YouTube, we're going to get the radiator installed, and hopefully I got enough room up in here, but I'm going to go ahead and run these cables. And I bought fan extensions. Now this cable, I'm going to run these cables out the back. Hopefully I won't regret this, and everything will be ran in the back anyway. So I'm going to use this cable management hole up here. To get these started. Or a rubber grommet cable management hole, same difference. That through. That pull down. It's one. And I'm gonna leave the one for the pump, which is right there, right here for now, till I find out what I'm gonna do with it to make it look nice and neat. So let me get these other ones through. So I'm probably gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do with the fans for this right here, but I'm gonna more than likely let the Commander Pro control all the fans. I'm just not sure how that's gonna work with the RGB for these fans. So that's something I'm gonna have to look into. But the Commander Pro can control RGB, but I might have to let the EK pump take care of that. Or the EK AIO, whatever you want to call it. It might not work. So let me look at the Commander Pro box really quick. And it has LED headers, fan headers, and USB. But I gotta look into the RGB portion. Hold on. Sun and software controlled RGB lighting. It's probably not gonna work with this, but we'll see. Let's get to getting this installed. We'll see. Might have to just let the EKWB AIO control all of that. So hopefully this thing fits. We got a good offset. We do. Awesome. Awesome. Alright. So now let's get one of these small screws. Make sure I'm using the right one. And it is a UNC 6x32 6mm. Yep. And how many of those is it? 4x120, 8x240, and 12x360. That's if you need to use that. Okay. All right. Now, I'm gonna get my screwdriver. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, a little dusty here too. I'm a stickler about that. I'm normally in my cases cleaning them out once every couple of weeks. I got a DataVac air blower that I use. I don't buy those cans of air anymore. See, now see, that's offset. Oh man, I hope I'm not running into any problems here. Well, maybe if I use the right hole. Oh man, that's insane. Come on out. All right, it was this one there. Use the right one and you won't have any issues, right? So let me put this one in the back first, which this is as high as my tripod can go, so I don't have any other way to put this in the overhead. Well, if I had a ladder or something. All right, let's get this one started sometime today. All right, there we go. Got one started. Ain't gonna tighten it up too tight. Let's see. You know what? These ain't matching up all the way with these holes. It's really not. I gotta figure something out here. But they're not matching up. Let's see, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Okay. So I may have to shift this forward. Let's see now. Shift this forward. That's a hole. That's a hole. Okay, there we go. Maybe if I get it lined up right. There we go. There we go. I ain't hiding nothing from you, YouTube. If I make mistakes, I make mistakes. But this might not get done today. I gotta eat dinner. Well, it'll be done for you today, because this will all be in one video, but for me, of course. Alright, YouTube, I got a few of these in. You can't see them all, but you saw me do this one. I'll put one more here, and then we'll call that good, because all you gotta do is line up the holes and then just put your screws in, read your directions, and that's an easy day. But the good thing is I didn't have to take the memory out. So, alright, let's get to the next part. Alright, YouTube, next we're gonna install the M.2 NVMe drives. I'm gonna use the top one here, and we're gonna use this one down here. We should be fine. Or I might use the one in the bottom. I might use the one in the bottom. That way it's easy to get to and I won't have to take the graphics card out. That's what I'll do. Easy day. Alright. So make sure you, if your motherboard's brand new, you might have a piece of protected plastic on your actual thermal pads on your M.2 plates here. So make sure you take that off. You can keep it or throw it away. Hopefully this motherboard is good to go and I ain't got to worry about it. So I am going to use my Sabrent Rocket 500 gigabyte as my boot drive. So I'm going to put this one in the top, and the other one will be used as my gaming drive. Now I might have to put in, I think I am, one of the supports right here. I'm pretty sure I am, because that is not going to fit. Let me find it. Should be in the bag here somewhere. Get that installed. My M.2s. And there it is right there. And it is not a Ziploc bag, so I got to cut a hole in it. All right. And YouTube, this is another motherboard from Amazon. That is a Amazon warehouse deal. So I'm pretty sure this goes in. Let me just make sure I'm putting it in here right. Move these tools up a little bit. Yeah, it goes in right there. All right. Just want to make sure I had that right. And this can be finger tight. Again, always make sure you ground yourself. You can use those grounding straps, or you can just touch some metal. All right, I'm gonna put that in there. Is that in there right? It is. All right, then I just gotta find a screw that goes in there. SATA cables. And where is it? Oh, right here. Actually, two of them. Sweet. Get this installed. These are tiny. And make sure you don't lose them. That's why a lot of times I just leave them in the, I'll leave them in the actual motherboard. if I'm not using the motherboard anymore, or you know, or I'm going to be changing something out and I haven't gotten the part yet. Easy day. That's how you install that. Put the heat spreader, that's what you call it, back on here. Line that up and screw it down. Easy day. That's how you do that, and you do the other one the same way. So let's get to the next part. Alright, YouTube, I connected the 4-pin pump header for this to the CPU fan header up here. It's very difficult to see. You're not going to be able to see that. And I also connected the RGB header for the pump to a RGB cable to a RGB header on the motherboard up here at the top. So easy day. I'm going to have to do something with this cable to make sure it's nicely cable managed and out of the way. And easy day. Now I'm not going to show you how to hook up the I/O panel, you know, for the reset and all of that with this right here and the power button and all that stuff as well. I'm not going to actually do that. But I also connected the header here, which is for audio, so that's done. And I just got to determine how I'm going to do the fans. And the fan cable for this is right here. So I don't know if I'm going to be using that or not. The fans probably just light up, but I just got to figure that out and see what type of RGB capability is actually there. So yeah, that's what's next. So let me get the fans hooked up and we'll talk about that. Alright, YouTube. So I'm using one of the RGB headers on the motherboard for the pump RGB. So the fan RGB comes like this. You get a couple of leads, but it allows you to daisy chain it by connecting it like this. And then you can connect one of these to your motherboard header. And I know that's hard to see. That's focusing in, but yeah, now I can connect this because I only got 2 RGB headers that I can actually use that are 3-pin for these. So now I'm going to just run this cable down through the back of the motherboard and connect it to the other area at the bottom of the motherboard. It's close to the audio header. So that's what I'm going to do with this right now. So then hopefully it'll reach, but it should reach, and that should be an easy day. So yeah, so if you run into some problems and you can do the same thing and it should work. If it don't work, then I won't be talking about this and you won't even see it. So hopefully it works. Alright, YouTube, I pretty much got everything installed and done. Now, I had to actually take the CPU out, the memory out, the video card out, which I'm just temporarily using a RTX 2060 Super here just to make sure that, you know, it worked. And basically unhook everything because the BIOS need to be updated in order for the 5600X to work. I was hoping I didn't have to do that, but I did. So I used Q-Flash and flash the BIOS without having a CPU or memory or anything else installed. So that is actually done to the latest one. Just always make sure you check your motherboard version to make sure you got the right BIOS when you actually go in there and flash it. And I know for a lot of you, you never actually did any BIOS updates or anything like that. It can be very scary. But just look at a lot of YouTube videos and do a lot of research before you actually go in there and actually do it. I've actually did it a few times, and I always update my BIOSes. So, easy day, or UEFI, whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty much done. And I've got the EK Vardar fan installed here in the, not Vardar, I'm sorry, the Noctua AF25 in there, right? Speaking of EK Vardar, right, turning this around, you can't fit 3 140s up here. I've got 2 140s from Noctua, and I've got one EK Vardar 120 up here. And I want to get maximum airflow going into the case, so that's what I did. And with that, I couldn't even put the screws in the bottom here on the back, which you can't see. I just got them in the back and the top, but it's fine. It'll stay in place. And that was an easy day. And looking on the back here, got some cable management to do, which shouldn't take me too long, hopefully, because I'm actually not running that many cables compared to how many I would actually run normally, right? Because I've got all NVMe drives in here. Well, not all. I got 2 NVMe drives in there. I'm going to get one more, so I'm not going to need cables for that. I've got the 2 Intel 730 series SSDs that I talked about that are 240 gig. I've had them forever. Bulletproof. And you can see I've mounted the Corsair Commander Pro down here with double-sided tape that actually came with it. So, yeah. Only other thing I got to do is take the 2060 out after I do the cable management. Put the 2080 in there. Put the operating system on there. Download my games and any other programs I'm going to be using. And I'll be up and running. And I won't be quite gaming yet because I got to clean up my office and get it squared away. So next thing you're going to see is actually the 2080 in there. And me actually finished up with the cable management. And the EKWB pump was pretty much a breeze to install. I don't mess up my cables here. Right? Again, it wasn't as easy as installing the Corsair models that I've got, but still, really easy to put in there. And yeah, I can't complain about that. And I can't wait to get this rig up and running. The only thing that's going to possibly be something in the future excuse me if I get my words out, will be if I need to add additional storage in here. So, but I don't plan on storing anything on here other than my games. And when I get done with a game, I can always remove it and, you know, put my latest game on there, whatever I'm playing, and go from there. I mean, they're all kept in either my Steam, my Origin, or my, what's my Ubisoft? What do Ubisoft call, or Ubisoft call theirs? Let's Play or Uplay. Kept in those databases, so I ain't really concerned about all that. But I am planning on getting a 2 terabyte NVMe drive, or either a 2 terabyte regular SATA SSD. More than likely it's going to be NVMe. That way I ain't got to run any additional cables. But I do lose a couple of my SATA connections there if I run another NVMe SSD, which shouldn't be much of a problem. But I also got to download the software for the Commander Pro as well so I can control my fans. I'm going to do a fan curve just like I got in the other rig that I got. And yeah, get this thing finished up. That should be an easy day. And my friend should get his parts, and I can go ahead and build his 1800X build for him. And I should have those parts on Monday. I might let you see the finished product for that. But I'm not going to do any type of build guide or vlog on that. So, yeah, easy day. So let me get this thing done, because as soon as I get it done, the sooner I can start playing some games and seeing how well the 5600X actually performs for myself. Alright, YouTube, cable management is done. All I got to do is put both panels on, both sides and the front. I've already put the 28 in there, which I'll turn it around here shortly and show you that. And yeah, that was an easy day. When you ain't got to run a whole lot of cables, yeah, like I said, easy day, because I don't have any spinning hard drives in here at all. Everything's either SSD, well, they're all SSD. It's either SATA SSD or NVMe, so that's good. And most of the cables are just to power everything else. So yeah, so let's turn this around so you can see what it looks like on the other side here on my little turntable. I already showed you the front, and that's what it actually looks like right there. And what I'll do is, once I get it in its place where it belongs, I'll turn it on and let you actually see it. I still gotta install the operating system like I mentioned earlier. Gotta install some games. Actually, I'm gonna only be installing Cyberpunk 2077 and actually Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War. So That's only 2 games I'm actually playing right now. I do still have Just Cause 4 I gotta finish, which I haven't played in a while. And I also have Metro, the one about the kernel. I think it's the story 2 kernels I haven't played as well. So I may do some demonstration on the performance of this machine with the Ryzen 5 5600X paired up with the RTX 2080 for some of those games. I'm definitely going to do Cyberpunk, definitely going to do Call of Duty. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the actual Metro game, but more than likely I will. So let me start rambling on, right? And go ahead and get this thing in its place, get my office cleaned up and nice and neat and like I normally have it, because it's driving me crazy that everything's everywhere in here. And yeah, get to some gaming. Alright YouTube, I got it in this normal spot that it's going to be in. This is going to be the first official boot other than when I updated the BIOS, but I did that without anything being in the motherboard, i.e. CPU, RAM, video card, none of that was connected. And I used a Q-Flash to actually update the BIOS, where all you need is a power supply and a motherboard and a thumb drive with the latest BIOS on it. Just make sure you check your latest BIOS version before you, or check your motherboard version before you go in there and update the BIOS. Because with this Aorus Master motherboard from Gigabyte, there was a 1.0 revision. And this one's actually the 1.1 revision. So, of course, I downloaded the right one. But anyway, let's see if this thing boots. I've already turned the power on, and let's do it. All right, memory. Oh, there we go. Easy day. So, YouTube, this was a lot of fun. I don't have my hands on one of the new GPUs or video cards from AMD or NVIDIA. Actually, I don't know which way I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to go 3080. Well, I'm not going to buy a 3080. Now, if they come out with a 3080 Ti, which, of course, they're supposed to be coming out with one, I'm going to be all over that. Or what's the, 6900 XT from AMD? Or actually, the 6800 XT. Man, get these words out today. Either or, looking forward to going either way. They both perform, even though NVIDIA performs a little bit better, if not a lot, with ray tracing, but they did get a head start, but eventually AMD will get there. Right now, AMD's rocking with CPUs. I actually thought about doing 5900X and 5950X, but I saw so many good reviews, with the 5600X that I decided to go that route. You'll see a lot of debates between 8-core, 6-core, or 8-core 16 thread, 6-core 12 thread. But once you start getting a 1440p and 4K, everything's GPU bound anyway. But if you're gaming at 1920 by 1080p, then of course more CPU is better and higher clock speeds or IPC. But anyway, I ain't gonna talk all that technical stuff. That's why we got level 1 techs, level 1 techs and Gamers Nexus for that, and they do a much better job than me. So stay tuned for some more videos with the performance of the 5600X paired up with the 2080. And there'll definitely be a Cyberpunk video and a Call of Duty video, Black Ops, Cold War, because that's the latest games that I'm actually playing. So I have rambled on enough and taken up enough of your time. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there and come back for the next one. Later.